Yo, 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 yo. What is going on? How are we feeling today? What's up, what's up, what's up? Good morning. Good morning. Hey, yo. Cheers, welcome. How are you today? Good morning, welcome back. How are you feeling? It's Monday. That's right, it's Monday. It's time to do the thing. Time to do the stream. We got lots of news. Today we're going to focus on the overall general market, even looking at the stock market and the world markets for a second. What did you guys think about Sunday? We didn't get a video. We didn't do a live stream yesterday. I was just working and trying to finish the video that I had up. What's up? Rock Rose, Stewart, LJ, XRP, 1000 Bones, Drizzy and Richard, Brian, Rue, Steve. What's up? What's up, guys? How are y'all feeling today? UK heat wave is out. Yeah, the heat wave's real. In Texas, too. It's pretty hot. It's pretty hot out here. What's up? What's up? How's it going, Jeremy? DJ Ash? How are you guys feeling today? What's up with you guys? Okay, so yeah, we didn't finish the Codius video yet. I spent like 2 hours building it out on a VM with like a 50 gigabyte memory allocation, and then like halfway through it, like 3 hours in, I was like, I did something wrong, and it was something that I had dealt with the first time, and I fixed it, and it was fine. But making the tutorial for you guys, I'm trying to make it really clean and precise so you can just flow through it. So I had to start over, basically. I had to start over. That video is going to take probably another day, maybe. But what's going on? What's up, Jill? What's up, Scott? Joshua? Bobski? Yes. It's a good moment to be alive for sure. We woke up and we had an uptick. The market's up by about another 16 billion. You got green all across the board. Every single graph is just shooting straight up. It's just shooting straight up, sir. Looking at a couple different things today. We're gonna just throw it out there and burn through the news as fast as we can. I've got more work to do. I've got videos to edit, and gotta get back to work. Gotta get back to doing the other things. So, how are you guys? How's life? Before we get started, as you all know, I haven't been saying this at the beginning of the live streams, but I need to. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a fiduciary. I'm just looking at current information and sharing with you guys. And we're trying to do these live streams and an edited video every day on top of my other 2 jobs. So I'm pretty busy these days. If you emailed me and I haven't gotten back to you, I'm trying to email you back. If you asked about some of my other programs, like my body weight exercise program, Maurice, thinking about you, I saw that the other day and I haven't responded to you. That is stuff that we've set up and we're building out. But again, looking to just keep adding more time to those projects as we move on. So we'll have all that stuff probably up and running a little bit better in the future. Looking at the news of the day. Before we even look at this, I was talking to someone this morning. It was a Bitcoin maximalist. Bitcoin maximalist, not really a Bitcoin maximalist. He was a Bitcoin maximalist that started off the conversation by saying, I'm not a Bitcoin maximalist. And I was like, all right. He's talking about, his support for BTC, his support for Bitcoin. And I asked him about XRP, and he's still just like he's not even ready to consider the possibilities of XRP's tech, because he's still, it throws him that the Ripple Labs holds 60% of the tokens. So I think looking at this conversation I had this morning and talking to him, and he's pretty knowledgeable about crypto. I mean, he works with a company in Austin that does, hedge, and he basically runs a hedge fund for crypto in Austin, and he does not support XRP. And I told him, hey man, I've had a pretty full circle relationship with XRP, because when I came in, I had a lot of friends that told me just that, and I used to listen to my friends more than just doing my own research. So basically looking at what his main concern is, the fact that he thinks XRP is rough because the Ripple Labs hold so many. That's kind of like the same reason people are saying oh, well, it could be deemed a security because Ripple Labs is continually promoting and supporting XRP. And we're not even going to go into that. We're not going to go into that. All we're going to use is this idea as an indicator that XRP is still hyper undervalued, right? It's still hyper undervalued because people aren't even talking about the tech yet. They're not even putting into the conversation the conceptualization of XRP tech. They're just talking about that what they believe to be a tragedy inside of the Ripple Labs holding the coins. And that makes no sense. We don't even need to talk about that. But I just think that's a good idea. It's a good thing to remember when we look at the overall market, right? So the first thing that we have, the title of the video today, and pretty much what a lot of people see when they look at the market is Bitcoin, right? A lot of people look straight to the Bitcoin price, Bitcoin still being the first coin, the true cryptocurrency coin, and every other coin other than that being considered an altcoin still. With that type of languaging, you can see Bitcoin still has domination. It has bless you, it still has high domination for sure. And you can see the BTC dominance is up. I don't know if you guys can see that on your screen. Can you? It's up to 42%. I'll move it right there. Boom. BTC dominance up to 42%. And that's that's nothing to ignore. There's a reality to people letting go of positions in altcoins. You can see the articles trending where people are talking about the hundreds, thousands of dead coins that no one's using anymore. And what does this mean? It basically means that people are still looking at Bitcoin as the coin and the indicator moving forward to the year. So people are calling into the year $25,000 Bitcoins, but those price calls are falling. They're becoming less and less likely as we can see the coin not necessarily picking up momentum. And I've used this site before and just kind of like playing with these ideas. This site originally, you can go straight to the site if you want at burrcoin.tops.com is I think what the URL is. It's burrcoin with an R .top. And it takes you straight here to this Bitcoin price prediction tracker. It's kind of like making fun of the John McAfee tweet about Bitcoin being $1 million. But if you draw this out, you can see that if they're expecting it to hit like 50K right around maybe April of next year with this timeline, right? So you can see this timeline puts Bitcoin at 50K April next year. And we know that XRP will have a different relationship to BTC in a few months. On the uncoupling, the unpairing of the price, the launch of SPI, and a couple other things. We know that it's not going to be in the same relationship that it is now. But if you were to assume, which we should never assume, but if you were going to say like, oh, Bitcoin's going to go to 50K, what does that put XRP at? That puts XRP at the current relationship not that high, honestly. It's not that high. The current relationship that they share, if you match that, if you project that number, 50K Bitcoin is like, I think, $3 or $4 XRP. About the all-time high we had. So you can see there's a lot of potential for hype and run-up and FOMO to push that price a lot higher. But I think essentially what a lot of people are looking at is people's attention is still on Bitcoin, right? I mean, looking at the coin market cap, when I talk to people, they barely break away from Bitcoin. If they do, they might talk about Ethereum, right? So people are barely entertaining the conversation of Bitcoin being a reality or Bitcoin being something we could build off of. That conversation's still taking place every day. Then once they accept, like maybe we can look at Bitcoin as a possible utility, what can we do with that tech? Then the conversation starts talking about Ethereum. They're like, well, Ethereum, et cetera, Ethereum. And so Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think, still dominate the conversations of the water coolers, if you will. But you and I know, you and I know what's up. We know that when you look at the tech and you look at what's happening, there's a strong lean on taking long positions on XRP. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. But for right now, we're going to look today specifically at the overall market. And we're going to run through all the articles really quick. But just keep in mind as we go through them, I'm still a big XRP supporter. I'm still a super XRP fan. And we're still building out that Codius host. That video is coming. But looking at some articles that are pretty much just going to be all over the place. Let's just run through Monday, 12% up. We have green across the market. What's happening? So Google Trends attest to Ripple and Tron's popularity. I don't know if you guys ever do this, but I love looking at the Google Trend reports. You can just go and search different keywords and pull up the trend of that keyword search in Google. So they're saying that basically Tron and Ripple have seen a surge in Google search. Basically, people are searching Ripple and Tron among the most researched coins in the market. So this is fun to do. If you haven't ever done it, you can just type in trends.google.com. It brings you this sweet Google trending page. This is a secret page that's free. Working in marketing and working in like content creation, and if you're a YouTuber, if you're one of my fellow YouTubers out there, this is a tool that you guys should be using every day. Honestly, like just think anything. Like you like Bitcoin. You type Bitcoin in. You can see the search interest in Bitcoin, right? What's really funny to look at this is the search interest in Bitcoin mirrors the price. Like if you put up the price of Bitcoin, it literally mirrors the search interest. The price of Bitcoin mirrored the search interest. That's pretty interesting to look at. It gives you, there's a lot of information provided by the search interest and search parameters of Google. So you can look at Bitcoin versus XRP, right? Like the search interest of Bitcoin XRP. Oh man, you can see why people aren't even talking about XRP, the standard, yet. I just saw that in the comments. Douglas, Rosales, XRP, the standard. That's right. That's right. I agree. Yo, what's up, KK? What's up, JN, Douglas, Crypto Time. What's going on, guys? Yo, what's up? Thanks, Mr. XRP, LJ. How are you? How are you guys? Okay, so here, let's look at this Bitcoin XRP. We can see, you know, like, I just found out about Bitcoin. Let's say I'm just some rando, and I just found out about Bitcoin. Someone told me, yo, dude, you ever heard of that Bitcoin? And I'm like, woo, go, let's search Google. Let's search it. Okay, boom, we found Bitcoin. And we know there's a lot of search interest here. In December, when it hit its all-time high, it hit its all-time search interest. I wonder. Now, if we change this from XRP to Ripple, do we get a different search parameter? Yeah, you can see a little bit of different search parameters, so maybe people don't even know to call XRP. They're calling XRP Ripple. So we have Ripple, Bitcoin. Let's add one more, Tron. Now we can start to put things together. We can start to make sense here, right? We have 3 different search terms put into Google Trends, and this is gold right here. I'm sure that most of you guys are like, I don't need this tool, but a lot of you could use this. A lot of you could use this tool. Looking at Bitcoin in its all-time high, the search interest hits 100. Ripple's search interest is only 20% of that. Tron's search interest is only 3% of Bitcoin's, right? So when they say Tron and Ripple have a high search interest, we take away Bitcoin, we're just looking at Ripple and Tron now. This is what they're talking about. We have Ripple and Tron in an increased search interest. And instead of the past 12 months, let's look in the past 4 months. And here we can see what's happening. The volatile search interest of XRP, Ripple, and Tron. Let's add XRP in. Just for fun. Double keywords on that one. So you can see it's just all over the place, right? Up and down, up and down. Not a lot of specific info here, but you can see related searches. It's interesting to look at related searches. Look at the interest by subregion. You can see a lot of information here. So what are they talking about in this article? They're like, Google Trends with Tron and Ripple. This basically just shows public interest. It shows Tron entering into discussions, entering the public sphere of interest, Ripple entering into discussions, an altcoin that can never be looked down upon in the crypto globe. So there's a lot of people supporting Ripple and talking about Ripple. The Ripple community is strong. People are building out things on the XRP ledger all the time. So looking at this, good news, increased search interest. We have the graphic card suppliers are thinking about cutting prices in July due to crypto market slump. Looking at the cyclical nature of the markets, they could cut the prices and then you would just have a full-on rally for Bitcoin miners to buy and build those out, I think. Coinbase's new custody service is now live. So again, we've talked about this before. Coinbase was not looking to expand width-wise. They were looking to expand vertically, basically bringing in more custodial services to clients in the US and Europe. Again, looking at Coinbase as one of the main interests, if I bring up this, is where we're breaking away from crypto specifically and looking at markets in general. The crypto insider VCs have no idea how to play cryptos. So this is interesting to think about. Like venture capitalists still have no idea what's going on with cryptos. They don't know how to approach them. They don't know how if and when they want to invest or play with them. And I think that's interesting, leaning over to, we'll look at this one in 1 second. Leaning over to this article talking about Union Square Ventures investing in crypto for the long haul, but won't start a dedicated fund. And you can hear them calling out a couple different companies, one being Coinbase. So they know Coinbase is exciting. They know Coinbase is hot, popping off, and they want to put some money in it. And this is potentially why we still should be paying attention to the news every day, why we should still be excited about this technology coming out and people jumping into it. We can see the Union Square Ventures is basically putting money in here. They're investing. They want to know what's going on in this space. and we jump back one, we can see one of the biggest VC firms says cryptocurrency can be worth trillions of dollars. This is a day or two old, and we know this information, and this is something that basically is still possible. It's speculation. It can be. Cryptocurrency can be worth trillions of dollars. Going into this article and looking at it, he basically talks about how no one really knows where the money is going to flow, but people are betting it's going to go somewhere in crypto. Again, looking at this guy funding and investing in multi-billion-dollar companies for years. He's funded Twitter, Tumblr, Zynga, Etsy, and Coinbase. These guys are talking about trillions hitting blockchain. Investors are rationally pouring a lot of money into this sector. I think people are seeing the winning blockchain here might be worth $1 trillion or a couple of $1 trillion. So what's the winning one? What's the winning one? It's not all crazy to think that. It's not at all crazy to think that. Are you crazy, guy? Are you crazy? Miyagi, what's up, Mr. Miyagi? How are you today? Yo, 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 yo. What's up, Drizzy? Indeed, it's either going to gain or lose. Buy more XRP. I just missed someone comparing to Tron and how BTC is supposed to reach 50K, but we all know BTC is dead because it's the black market. Douglas, you are right that BTC is deader than some of the other coins, but I was looking at something that's saying that it's never going to be completely dead. It'll probably never completely die, and I agree with that. I think it might lose dominance, it might lose seniority, but I don't think it'll completely die in a sense. And so there's a lot of reality to the fact that people are still just looking at Bitcoin. So we don't want Bitcoin to die too fast. If Bitcoin dies, it's kind of like if we're on this side of the river and we're trying to cross to this side, Bitcoin's a stepping stone, and XRP might be like one of the last stepping stones. And that's where we're at. We're like, woo, XRP! But we need these other stepping stones to be there so people can get to us. They need Bitcoin so they can conceptualize the possibilities of crypto. If we lose BTC too early, it could be detrimental to the entire crypto sphere. My personal opinion. Again, I was talking to someone this morning. They're not even supporting XRP yet. They're just looking at BTC. Again, a lot of interest is still just in BTC. So, there's a lot of interesting things happening for sure. The Chinese stock market decline is a warning for the U.S. stock market. So people have been talking about this in outside the crypto sphere. There's a call for possibly a big correction in our actual stock market. So looking at this, potentially stocks slide as weakness in Asia, political crisis in Germany, pounds sentiment. You can't exactly tie these together. They're not necessarily tied specifically together, but looking at this call for 70% stock market crash to strike August 1st. So looking at a correlation between, when does G20 summit hit? When does the Fed expect to release reports on this? When does the stock market specifically crash and they call that? We don't know. This guy, this guy says he called the 90 crash and the 99 crash and the 2008 crash. This could just be one of those articles at the bottom. They're like, now buy our video. Now buy our crash course. I don't know for sure, but there's no link there's no real sales funnel at the bottom, but still looking at 70% possible stock market crash to strike August 1st. Is there a correlation between stocks and crypto? Is there a fusion of markets coming that we don't know about, that we're not allowed to talk about? That's a good question, a great question, in fact. Federal Reserve is in the spotlight as summer markets feel the heat. So, there's a lot of people pushing on the soft power of the United States, looking at the soft power of the dollar, the global reserve currency, and what does that mean? What does that mean looking forward? What does that mean for the development of an international payment rail? So, a lot of things happening. A lot of things are exciting. Miyagi, I can relate. I can relate to that. It's the foundation. Going back and watching the documentary, banking on Bitcoin. Yeah, no, you're right, Mr. Miyagi. And that's what we were talking about earlier, is that a lot of people are still just talking about Bitcoin. People are talking about Bitcoin. They're talking about Ethereum. Their conversation hasn't moved to XRP yet. So I think there's still a lot of time for us to be patient and be compassionate and remember to not be short with people. If there's one thing we can consider a possibility, is that building bridges in our interpersonal world, our interpersonal relationships, similar to how XRP's interoperable ledger is going to build bridges inside of protocol and payment and crypto. That's our role right now, right? We can have conversations with people, we can talk to them, and not be short, not be a Roger Ver. Don't go Roger Ver on them, right? Don't just start yelling at people and flicking them off on your in your chats or whatever, and yell "Arr!" or whatever. Looking at how people are still just talking about Bitcoin. People are still just talking about Bitcoin. They're like, well, Bitcoin's slow. Yeah, we know that. We made XRP. Well, Bitcoin doesn't have enough transactions per second to compete with credit cards. Yeah, we know that. That's why we have XRP. Bitcoin is, an energy sucker. It's just taking all. Yeah, we know that too. We know. So this conversation is going to be probably one we're going to keep having. That's why I started making videos. It's because I was having the same conversation with different people over and over again. So I was just like, go watch this video. But looking at this potentially is something that I think the rest of the world's looking at more than crypto. They're looking at the stock market correction that's possible and what that means looking forward. So I don't know if there's anything really that most people are focused on more than just BTC, and that's what we were saying from the very beginning. That's the title of the video. BTC is up 12%, and that's because that's the one people are looking at. People are focused on BT still as well. Robert Lee, ILP inclusivity, exactly. Thank you so much, Robert, for the donation. Cheers. I appreciate you for joining us today. And yes, hearts to the Interledger protocol. I agree. That's about as best as you can describe it. That one word, inclusivity. So our community, XRP, is really good at being inclusive. There's two ways to look at that. Exclusive, like you push people out, you're excluding them, or inclusive, you bring them in, you invite them in, like a community dance or a community center. And so I think it's okay. Like when I talked to this guy this morning, and he said he hated XRP, and right away that could push me to be a little bit defensive, but I wasn't defensive at all. I said, you know what, I can understand where you're coming from, but I started to look at other pieces of information that brought me around to be a really strong XRP supporter, paradoxically counterintuitive to like a lot of the arguments that you think are detrimental to XRP. Those are the reasons that now I support it. So trying to just be open and have a conversation with people, even if they don't agree with you, even if they're not agreeing that XRP has benefit, at least they're taking the time to have a conversation, right? They're in the crypto space, they're having a conversation, they're looking at Bitcoin, and then you're like, well, so you like Bitcoin, huh? Let me tell you about this other coin. You ever heard of that XRP? So a lot of companies are looking at how to use this technology. A lot of companies are looking at how to use this phase, this crypto adoption cycle that we're in. And I think that that's potentially, like you can look at this article, Halo platform at the Crypto Evolve conference. A lot of people have been in this for years. Like this guy I was talking to this morning, he's been in crypto, he said, for the last 8 years since Bitcoin first launched. And so he said he's not a Bitcoin maximalist, but you can tell from the way the way he talks about things, he's basically like a really progressive Bitcoin maximalist. Like he's not hating on Bitcoin Cash. He's not, he's not just solo supporting Bitcoin. He's just attached to that idea, right? He's just brought in and has a lot of support for Bitcoin. So that's how a lot of people are. I think they're still waiting to see if Bitcoin is going to pull back, if Bitcoin's going to take that run, if Bitcoin's going to hit 20K again. And honestly, at this point, I think it's important that it does. I think it's important that Bitcoin does hit its all-time high and push past it. So looking at this, developing crypto regulatory structure that works. So financial experts headlining the Crypto Evolve conference weren't the only ones encouraged by the cautious approach traditional institutions are taking to cryptocurrencies. So they want to make this work. Everybody wants to make this work. We're not trying to just run and gun through the regulatory tape so we can just bounce out to Bora Bora like most of us are like excited about bouncing out to Bora Bora. And that's okay. You can do whatever you want. I appreciate your freedom of choice. Your autonomy is important to me. And the autonomy of each individual is important to the overall marketplace. Where is he going with this? What are you talking about? What I'm talking about is that you and I, at any moment, could be like, well, cool, XRP is doing great. I'm going to not be as involved in the community. But a lot of these people can't be. A lot of these people have been in the community for years. They've been working to clear the regulatory structure. They've been looking at how to, make this move. They've been looking at how to put the one foot in front of the other over and over again. Every day they've been doing that. And I think we have to at least give them credit looking at how long they've been trudging away in this new developing space. So New technology doesn't fit squarely into an existing set of financial rules, so existing frameworks must be altered. You can see right here, this one sentence describes a lot of what's happening right now. Like, what's happening right now is this development of a new digital asset class. People are still focused on how is it going to work, can we make it work, who's going to benefit, who's going to put up the risk, who's going to experience the risk for this. And I think that's important for us to be patient with and be accepting that this is important to get done right. We don't want to just fly through this and just call it whatever. So what does all this add together to mean? You know, like we're looking at people Monday, crypto market's up. We've got a good 12% rally on BTC. Everything's in the green. We're seeing the total market cap reaching back towards 275 billion, but again, not breaking 300 billion. Most people still focus on Bitcoin. Can it break the 7.4 rally point that people are talking about? And then again, if the attention even does shift away from Bitcoin, it probably barely gets to Ethereum, right? If the attention shifts away from, you guys can't even see my screen. If the attention does shift away from Bitcoin, it probably shifts just to Ethereum. It is likely to just be between Bitcoin and Ethereum for people being brought into the conversation, and that's okay. Waiting for them to feel comfortable in the pool before they swim over to the deep end and play on the diving board where we're doing all the flips, where we're busting out back tucks. So what are you guys talking about over here? Don't tease why fly high. Don't tease, okay? People are still worried because of the 2 cases going on. Yeah, I was looking for news for that to be broke, for news of that today, an update today, and I couldn't find any. Do it the right way and get paid. XRP the standard, strong foundation. I agree, Douglas. I agree. You just got your auntie to buy XRP with the money she just throws around. Very cool. Good for her. Very cool. Good for her. Bitcoin's not going anywhere. That's why Brad and Edward Snowden and a bunch of other people are long Bitcoin. A lot of people are long Bitcoin, XRP, 1,000 bones. And that's my point, is that we still have people that are coming into the market that they are just listening to other people. They're not necessarily doing their own research. They're just looking for who's shouting the loudest from the biggest hill. And that potentially could be damaging. But it also could it could be paradoxically beneficial as well, bringing some people in that might take the time to do their own research and look at, like, why does this technology benefit society? Why does this technology benefit me as an individual? Why would I want this to be propagated into the future for humanistic qualities of mankind? And when they ask those questions, just as I did, there's only one route that you can arrive at. There's only a couple routes you can arrive at, and most of them are, you know, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink. I think I saw someone put that up on Twitter the other day and tagged me. Yes, exactly. You can take a camel to water, you can't make him drink. How much XRP do you aim to save? That's a good question, Red Thunder. I would personally like to be in the top 1%. I'd like to be a 1%er. That's a goal of mine to shoot for, but that means potentially that I'm willing to buy continually. So setting a reoccurring buy pattern. I'm by no means rich. I know someone the other day was like trying to troll my channel. They were like, he just does things for views and clicks. I can give you my full AdSense report. I don't make any money doing this. Specifically, all my money comes from me working really hard and then taking my own hard-earned dollars and buying tokens. So yeah, essentially, reoccurring buys is the best way to do that. The market moves up and down so much, you can basically easily see, you know, just putting a few dollars aside every week or whatever is a strong move, and supporting whatever coin you like is basically like your voting power. It's like we're voting on the new world. It's like the new world voting system. Put your money into whatever protocol or token you believe in. That's what it really comes down to. You'll be happy in the 5%. Nice, Miyagi. Nice. Yeah, I will be happy to get there as well. I don't think I'm there yet. I don't think I'm even close to that. Yeah, totally. Any amount you hold is a good amount, because essentially, here's my idea. Here's my theory on this. Essentially, any amount you hold is good because you've done a couple of really important things. You've jumped into the pool, so you're already swimming in the cryptos. You started to look, you experienced the technology. You know how to send, buy, receive crypto. You know how to use your addresses. You know how to you're starting to conceptualize these ideas. You're starting to put together this information. So it doesn't really matter how many you have. It matters that you've taken the time to learn and have this experience. And I think that's potentially even greater than the question of how many do I need to hold. Is just pat yourself on the back for just showing up. Just pat yourself on the back just for showing up today and asking these questions and looking at this market. Because honestly, it can be draining to be paying attention to things. Taking your time and energy and focus and putting them into something, it takes your time. It takes your energy. So I appreciate that you are even having this conversation. I appreciate that you're even here with me right now. But it's hard to say exactly like what, I can't tell you how many you're going to need to hold or what price it's going to go to, because that's all just speculation. It's all just me assuming. What percent are you in with 4K? I think that you are close to 5%. You want us to look really quick? You guys ever want to know? You can use the XRP tip bot, which shout out to Weisswind over and over again. Weisswind or whatever. XRP top bot. I put it wrong. If you guys go to xrptipbot.com, if you guys have not already, here's my tip bot. You can see it. You just basically go to the stats page. You can go to this ledger. Oh, you guys can't see that. Oh, you can't see. So you go right here to your tip bot. You can see they have 18,000 XRP in there, 14,000 tipped out. So you go to XRP tip bot, and then right here you can see the ledger exposed HTTPS. You can just type in ledger.exposed as well and still arrive here. And from here you can see your rich stats and the rich list index. So you can go to rich stats and hit by percentage of accounts right here. And then looking at that, you can see what percentage of holders you are. Looking at basically 4K is in between 10 and 5%. So in between 10 and 5% is a strong holding for XRP. You're in the top 10% at least. And looking at how many accounts are active in the world right now, you're looking at 0.01% of the populations in XRP, and you're in the top 10% of the 0.01%. So that's pretty exciting. You're not assuming the price will go up to that amount in time. I don't understand that the question, Thomas. Yeah, ledger exposed, exactly. Hey, yo, how's it doing? How you guys feeling? Reaching the top 10%. 10% would be great. What's up, something? How are you? You just broke into 5%? Nice, Brian. Nice. Yeah, that's cool. I'm definitely shooting for 5%. I'm definitely shooting for 5%. That'd be great. Again, XRP is so undervalued in my opinion. Looking at how the community gets treated and looking at how the conversation went this morning with that Bitcoin supporter, I think that we're just still underappreciated as far as the technology and the possibilities. And even looking at like having conversations with people about Codius. I mean, Codius is revolutionary, but it's not just for XRP. It's interoperable for so many different blockchains, and that potentially it brings people into Codius, and then they're like, wait, how do I save some fees? Oh, I'm going to run it on the XRP ledger. So again, looking at, as Robert said, inclusive. XRP has done such a good job of being inclusive. They're working the reverse compatible interoperability with non-blockchain and other blockchains and different payment rails and different payment types. Looking at whenever I was launching my Codius host, the Money D program, the payment rail on Money D, you could be paid to run a Codius host in Ethereum or in PayPal or whatever. They don't have those widgets exactly set up yet to just drop in there, but it's possible. It's something that they built it that way from the ground up, and that's the reason why I think I continually find more and more personal support in XRP is because of the technology. Most people don't even understand it. Most people probably don't want to talk about it. They just want to throw their money into Bitcoin and watch it go to $1 million. And the more and more we have patience to have the conversation with people that that are not talking about XRP positively, I think that's good. I think that's basically where we want to be. So that's about it for today's news. Looking at the market being up, Bitcoin's rally. People are focused on Bitcoin price mainly. A lot of VCs and a lot of big institutional investors taking the concept of, do I want to take a position? Do I want to position myself in crypto? How would I do that? What would be my entrance point? Why? What would I pick? Etc. Etc. And I think these are things that take time. Like it's just like we're talking about the regulations that are pending. It takes time for all this to develop. And this tech is insane, and it could go up by 100. That's when that is happening, right? And so there's a paradox in investments in a sense where like it's not safe, it's a risk, it's high risk, high reward. By the time everyone jumps in and takes the dive, the risk is less, but then the reward is less too. The opportunity is less. So I basically notice this happening a lot. There's a lot of people that continually are introduced to the conversation of crypto. They're introduced to the conversation of maybe it's not a scam, but just Bitcoin's good. Like maybe just Bitcoin's okay. And then finally breaking away from that paradigm and thinking like, Bitcoin's okay. What is Bitcoin doing? What are these altcoins doing? How are they better? How are they, how are they competing? How are they competing with it? So that's pretty much what's happening. I think we're still pretty far behind people respecting the XRP and respecting the Phoenix, as we will call it. Maybe the XRP Phoenix. So that's potentially what's happening. I tried to build out the Codius host yesterday. It took me like 3 hours to build it. And then I realized when I was doing it the first time, the tutorial I used, I had to troubleshoot some of the errors that I found. And then whenever I was trying to troubleshoot them for you guys in the tutorial, it got a little bit convoluted. So I just scrapped the whole thing. I wasted the, I think I wasted the XRP for the wallet, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. It's all about doing it right for you guys. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. It should be really quick and simple, and I'm going to try to finish that today. Also, looking at Eve. Eve's been super supportive and patient with me making the What is XRP video for people that don't really know how to even start this conversation. So that's a lot of stuff that I'm working on today. Just trying to keep the news and keep you guys informed, keep you guys in the news. We broke over about 30 minutes today. And unless you guys have any pertinent questions or issues, we're going to start rolling out. We're going to start closing it out. Pretty much just everyone's interested in Bitcoin. Everyone's interested in the revival of the crypto market in general, and giving Bitcoin as a strong indicator in that space. What does that mean? It means that potentially we need to allow people to have the conversation of what is Bitcoin, what's the use of Bitcoin, how can cryptos serve us, and then looking at like what can Bitcoin improve on? What could Bitcoin do better? And then that allows us to introduce the conversation of what is XRP. So again, Monday's strong, starting off the second half of the year with a boost. I did not use the script. I saw that someone made that. Raymond, I saw that someone made that. I think she's or whatever made the script, and I watched that video. And it actually seemed a little bit harder. It seemed a little bit more complicated to me than the one I used, which was very straightforward and simple. Again, I'll put up my video, and you guys can use whatever you want. If you guys like the She's video with the script, again, I did not use that one. So I'm not sure if that's exactly. I'm not sure exactly how his worked because I didn't use it. I did watch part of his video. And I was thinking about if that would be easier for me to show you guys his method, and I decided no, it would not. I have basically a couple steps you have to do first, setting up your DNS, launching your virtual machine, and then literally you can just go to my website and I'll have you just copy and paste every code entry all the way down, and you can literally just copy and post it into your command prompt, and that's the way we're going to have it done. So it should be so simple that my grandma could do it is the goal, because I had a couple people email me and be like, dude, please make it super simple. I want to do it. And I think that's awesome. I think the fact that so many people want to play in the Codius host, so many people are interested in taking this step of support. This is exciting, and I think this is why the XRP community is number one. And I know that there's been maybe a little bit of just a rough stint. 6 months of dips and slipping into the red is hard for everyone. So I cheers each and every one of you that is here still and supporting this movement, this technological revolution, if you will. No, you cannot run Codius on your cell phone. Codius needs a special operating system that only runs on OBS 7. I forget exactly what it is. I can look at my VM right now if you guys want. My virtual machine right now. So here's my virtual machine inside of Google Cloud. Oh, you guys can't see that. Here we are. Here's my virtual machine. So if I go to create this instance, and you'll do all this in the tutorial. You can do all this in the tutorial. Hopefully it loads. What's going on here? Yeah, so basically you need to use this operating system, CentOS 7. CentOS 7. Can you guys see that? Yeah, the very top, CentOS 7. You have to use that to install. It can't be CentOS 6. It has to be CentOS 7. I don't think you can run that operating system on your phone. And if you could, that'd be sweet, dude. That'd be super sweet. If you figure that out, let me know for sure. So we'll have all this up, the tutorial for how to do all this stuff, and all the domain managers and stuff. We'll have all that up. Yeah, I was thinking about that too, Douglas. I was thinking about that too. I'm not sure exactly why we wouldn't work on something that has the potential to use cell phones for consensus, kind of like Silicon Valley, looking at the possibility of all the phones in the world creating a really strong network. I don't know. Yeah, it's potentially something that would happen eventually, I think. Obviously, looking at the, was it Malcolm's razor or whatever, the exponential increase of the potential of computing power and the eventual, microization or the shrinking of technology, the nanotechnologies, and then looking at, like, obviously, people just implementing it, people trying to figure it out. You tried it last Friday, but the website crashed. What did you try to launch a host? CentOS, yeah, Raymond, exactly. There is a correlation between the prices of Bitcoin and XRP, so when will XRP come out of the shadows of Bitcoin? The correlation that you're thinking of, Shantanu, is called the coupling. Basically what it means is that right now, a lot of the prices for all the altcoins are relayed through the exchanges that list Bitcoin, meaning that, oh yeah, Moore's Law. Thank you so much, Ramirez. I don't know what law I put up. Moore's Law, that's what I was thinking of. So what were we going to say? Oh, yeah, that correlation, the coupling of Bitcoin and XRP basically comes from the fact that all the exchanges are pairing BTC to fiat, and then all the altcoins are paired to BTC. So when BTC drops, the relationship to fiat it has projects the negative balance into the altcoins. That's potentially what we need to be removed. The decoupling of XRP from BTC will be really strong. And that's just a slow progression. The more and more you see XRP to fiat couplings, or XRP to fiat couplings, pretty much. And that's how we would see our price break away from Bitcoin price. They chose the best software for my phone, but it crashed. So that's about it. The market looks really good. It's in the green. It's running up. I'm not sure if I can say it's a complete turnaround or pivot, because we're looking at I'm hearing in August, what we got? June, July, August. We got just a moment away before this possible 70% correction in the stock market. What will that be timed with in crypto? What will that look like for the launch or the reception of the news for the Fed with XRP, et cetera, Bitcoin, and Ethereum? I was talking to someone who was an ex-intelligence officer, just a slight little slight little information drop before we close it out. I was talking to someone who's an ex-intel officer. That means that they used to be an intelligence officer with the United States government, and they told me they are not allowed to own crypto. I mean, they could own it and not tell anybody, but he was telling me that U.S. government employees are not allowed to own any crypto at all because it's still considered a foreign asset. So imagine all the government employees and people like that potentially want to buy it, but they can't because it's prevented by their employer. I thought that was interesting. It's considered a foreign asset, even though they deemed Bitcoin and XRP, or Bitcoin and Ethereum, as true cryptocurrencies. They're considering it a foreign asset, and so they're not allowed to hold it publicly. if you're a government employee. So that's interesting. Looking at that type of thing to change moving forward in the next few months, looking at the tokenization of stock market, tokenization of fiats, and et cetera, et cetera. So Monday, news update. Bitcoin is the focus. I think venture capitalists and everyone's focused on picking the possible trillion-dollar crypto coin. I think that we're still just leading the conversation towards the technological benefits of XRP. And that's just a slow, arduous battle that we all are happily going to take part in, I believe. So that's about it. That's about it. Do that Codius host later today, and we'll help you out if you guys have any questions with it. What pairing is the best to buy XRP? That's a great question too, I guess. G20, that is all. The best pairing, I guess, it depends. Everyone could be different. That's why people do arbitrage. If you can find pairings that are more or less and just like run them in a loop, that's how people do arbitrage. If you find a good arbitrage loop, don't tell anybody. Or tell me. Just tell me. And I'll tell everybody. So you don't want to get charged fees for converting dollars to XRP. Use Abra. All right. Thanks, Douglas. Thanks for letting everybody know. SBI Holdings in Japan, when it launches fully this month, sometime will make the price of XRP start to rise up. Yeah, if you looked at the last video we did talking about XRP and SBI in a live stream, we were talking about the potential of the bull run and look at the math for it. The potential bull run for XRP, averaging all the last bull runs together, puts it at like $10. So maybe $10 around August by the time we see the market crash, and then maybe the Phoenix. Maybe we get the Phoenix announcement. That's right. The Phoenix announcement to come soon. No date for SBI. XRP going to win the battle. BTC is a crypto dinosaur. I agree. I think that's where we are, Javi. I agree. Javi, you said something too that I thought was really smart on my comments on my last YouTube video, and I don't remember what it is specifically, but there was a lot of great comments on my last video, so I'm going to go do a video that's me answering your comments again. I think I did one of those before, and I think you guys like that. So there's some comments we're going to go answer, and we got a Codius host video. So thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. What do you guys think about the BTC dominance? You know, BTC dominance is up slightly. Everyone's attention's focused on BTC. What do you think? What do you think about this? When's the conversation going to breach and diversify into multiple cryptos? Let me know. Tell me more. So, check you out later. Cheers. Have a great day. Until I see you then. Thanks, guys. Farewell.